Hey man, can we get this over with really quick?
Elias, are you?
I have shit to get to. I have shit to get to, dude. So can we just wrap this up?
Bro,
I'm trying to hit 4,000 hours on Fortnite, dude.
bro,
The new Marvel
you've
season
been
just came out and it's
playing.
fucking incredible. It's the
Bro,
best thing
you've
that's
been playing
like
it for days now. You
known to
need to,
man right now. Like modern technology, it's the ultimate advancement. Like seriously, dude, they got like Doom's
bro.
gauntlets in
You've been
here. They got war
streaming every
machines,
night.
weapons. They got so much shit, dude. Look. I'm almost at 4,000 hours. I have 3,823 hours on Fortnite, and I'm just super
No,
close to hitting four. And this Marvel season is just the best thing ever, dude. They got Gwenpool in here. They got a
Elias.
Wolverine
Hey,
that's
hey,
also a
hey, hey,
banana.
Elias. I think you need help.
Peelverine,
Please
Peelverine,
seek psychiatric help. Please.
Peelverine. It's a banana.
I guess if you guys want to see him have a psychotic breakdown, go to twitch.tv/the cosmic panel.
This felt like a TikTok live ad. Join my live to watch me go crazy. Join my live to watch me rage quit. Fortnite is the greatest advancement of human technology. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the weekly comic pull on the Cosmic Panel. Back again with another weekly review of books that we're excited about. There's a lot of cool books this week. Really excited to talk about a bunch of brand new series that are launching. But before we get into that, let's shout out our sponsor, Comic Universe, located at 446 McDade Boulevard in Folsom, PA. If you guys are in the Philly area, it's a worthwhile drive. They got a lovely collection of back issues, dollar bins, keys, graded books, toys, Pokemon cards, new books every Wednesday, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, and much, much more. If you guys give them a visit, please say hi to Mike and Mike, who were nice enough to pass us along this sponsorship. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get on with the video.
Yeah, and remember to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and comment down below which books you're pulling this week. Elias, what's your first poll?
My first pull for this week is going to be Sacrificers number 11. Now, we have a fill in artist right now who is admittedly not my favorite, but I think they did fit pretty well in this series. I think I know them from like some Secret Wars, like Spider Verse series, I want to say. But I think they've advanced a little bit from there. Andre Lima Araujo.
You also did
Um,
Avengers AI, from what I can see.
oh yeah, that is true. But yeah, I think they kind of came into this world pretty well. Um, so yeah, Luna is experiencing this affliction now, and she wiped out an entire town. So another element that's being introduced that I'm very curious to find out more about. But in general, yeah, this is coming along very nicely. And at the end of the issue, we had a surprise reveal of Pigeon's family still being alive. So that was pretty nuts. I was very surprised by that. Uh, Audible gasp. And I'm very excited to get into this next issue. Hopefully, we touch on that a little bit. I don't expect them to reunite with Pigeon right away, but I do want to know what the family has been up to and how they got out in time.
I mean, fuck that family, regardless. Fuck them.
Right.
They're pieces of shit. But interesting that Luna was able to encounter them. Um, and now we're gonna see what's what's gonna happen because I
I mean,
don't
it's an
think if they
interesting.
encounter again with Pigeon, I don't
Well,
think Pigeon's gonna spare them.
hmm, yeah, with the way he's going, but I think this creates an interesting conflict now. Inner conflict. Um, if Luna is encountering them, that means that she's probably going to spread them the plague unless she immediately runs away in the other direction. She's like, no one come near me.
True.
So it's interesting. I'm sure they're setting up something where it's going to be like Pigeon's going to have to decide between Luna and his family or something like that. But yeah, adding more elements, which I'm very happy about. Adding more twists and turns, and keeping this world going.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Lucas, what's your first pick?
My first pick is Infernals number 5. Last issue, we had the reveal that the devil really wants to separate his contract with the Antichrist, Abraham. And so Abraham's trying to decide basically who will succeed him. He's trying to figure out like little loopholes that he can work to gain more life from to avoid dying from cancer. It's really interesting. Honestly, the entire story has been like developing really well. We learned that like one of the siblings doesn't want to be in charge of the apocalypse or anything like that, but doesn't want one of the other brothers to be. And then we learned that the most recent child honestly might be the most likely to adopt the rest of the. It's basically succession where they're inheriting the apocalypse. um, but yeah, basically Satan sent a whole army of demons to kill the entire family because he's like, yeah, you know what? I actually want to break my contract because you guys aren't evil enough. I'll restart this. And so Abraham is now going to meet his father for the first time, Satan. And it should be interesting. This is going to be the end of the first story arc. So I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen.
And it's set to continue after that.
Yeah, it says end of story arc. So
Hmm.
I have to assume that it'll be continuing.
Huh. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear many people were reading this, so I'm pleasantly surprised that it's doing well enough to continue after.
Yeah, the art is phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. The art, top notch.
Word. Is it the same as the cover artist?
Yeah, it's the same as the cover artist.
Cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're very good. Almost Martin Simmons esque, like with like
Mhm.
the coloring and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like paint to me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
But yeah, the children are Nero, Jackal, and B. Everyone calls her B, but I'm pretty sure it stands for Beelzebub. Oh, and his ex-wife is a
Cool.
succubus. That's like an
Hmm.
actual plot point. Is his ex-wife is succubus, which is really funny.
Word.
You see, you get it. The joke is that like most people say their ex-wife is a succubus and don't mean it, but like he means it literally in this case. Like you get the joke. Anyway, Elias, what's your next poll?
Next up for me is going to be Universal Monsters Frankenstein #1. We already got another Universal Monsters book. Much less of a gap between this and Creature, I want to say, than there was
Yeah,
between Dracula and Creature. So pretty exciting. I'm glad they're keeping it going. This time we have, for the first time, a one-man, well, you know, almost a one-man creative team, and by that I just mean that one person is doing the writing and drawing. So Michael Walsh, who I am not familiar with, but based on the cover, he did do this cover. I think we're in for a treat. Frankenstein is, I would say, my favorite Universal Monsters property. I watched all those movies as a kid, even the bad ones, the third and fourth. But I'm very excited to get into this book. I think this is going to be a fun time, and I think we're kind of just doing a retelling from what I can see here. Creature from the Black Lagoon was a continuation, but this is going to follow the format of Dracula and just sort of give us, a retelling. I'm sure that they'll add some different elements. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into this book.
yeah. They Michael Walsh actually drew this really cool indie series that I really liked. The Silver Coin, which was really cool. It was a horror anthology series about a silver coin that would like jump from person to person and like cause stuff to happen. And halfway through the series, he became a writer also in the series, and those stories were also really good. So I'm actually really excited. Horror is his wheelhouse. He's very good at body horror. From
Mm.
that series, they had some insane moments. There was a moment where a guy had cut off his own arm to make hamburgers. Uh, and then just started killing people to make more hamburgers. Pretty crazy. Overall, just insane. But I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Well, obviously, this is the original body horror, so yeah, I hope he has some good ideas for this.
Yeah, this cover is beautiful. Also,
Yeah, Lucas, what's next up for you?
next up for me is Something is Killing the Children #40. It's really funny to think that this series was supposed to end at like 10 issues. Originally, it was supposed to be like a one and done story arc and then be done. Um, but yeah, no, this arc has been really sick. This arc has basically been Erica Slaughter's year zero. It's basically every issue has been a short story within one of her missions, and it's basically showing us like the past like two arcs have been outliers because they've taken so long. Normally, her missions are like she goes in, she kills the monster really quickly, and then she kind of deals with stuff with like the children and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see like her at like the top of her game, I guess. But last issue was really interesting because we didn't fight a monster at all. We actually had her going to a therapist in a town, um, and she used the excuse of referring a kid to the therapist, the kid that she saved from a monster, as an excuse to talk about her own trauma. And she's like, how do I repress my memories and stuff like that? And like the therapist is like, you shouldn't. Like, what are you doing? That's an awful way to handle stuff. And she's like, I can't afford to feel emotion like this. So it's really interesting to see Erica's like thought process on like the only reason that she is quote unquote good in this universe is because she cares about the children. Every other hunter does not give a fuck about the children. So it's funny that the one thing that like her emotion, which is like the one thing that's keeping her on the righteous side, quote unquote, is the thing that she also wants to get rid of because it's hurting her the most. Um, but yeah, no, this story has been sick. I'm really excited. This is gonna be the end of this arc, and then we're gonna be going into the something is killing the children number 0, which apparently is going to be a cool short story, and then we're going to be going right back into uh, a continuation of the series eventually.
Hmm.
Also, it's celebrating
Wow.
5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, 5 years is nuts.
Even with House of Slaughter and stuff like that, there's still House of Slaughter ended crazy. Like, there was like a major plot twist that like one of the old dragons had planned this entire thing. He was like, "Why do you think I went all the way to New Orleans to do this? Obviously, I did it just for like chess moves." And it's just like him planning stuff out to gain more control of the order. So it's interesting that we're getting like one series that's like, oh, here's the politics of everything, and then here's Erica just on the ground trying to save as many people, while the
Right.
higher ups don't give a fuck. So
Right, right,
it's
right.
really interesting. What's next up for you, Elias?
Next up for me is going to be Phases of the Moon Knight #1. Um, man, am I excited for this. This is just a great time for Moon Knight. Vengeance is going to be wrapping up, and we're going to be moving into Fist of Khonshu in October. And this is going to be a bit of a sandbox, but also, I would say, set up more important Moon Knight universe building blocks. They're calling it, some lost lunar lore.
That's
So I'm
funny.
sure we'll get some Mark Spector flashback stories. I'm sure we'll get some stories of all the other knights. That's something that they keep talking about, and I'm really excited to see because, Jed has these whole legions of, ghostly knights that have served Khonshu previously. So I'd love to get some more time with them. It looks like we have a bit of like a almost I want to say medieval or a crusade, yeah, crusader. We have a crusader Moon Knight, and I'm a sucker for historical fiction, so this is going to be a lot of fun. We got Erica Schultz and Manuel Garcia as a creative team on this book, and yeah, I'm excited to get more Moon Knight. I will never complain for getting more Moon Knight.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more Shroud as Moon Knight, I guess, which
Yeah,
is
which is
cool.
also
Oh,
exciting.
yeah. So definitely very exciting.
All right, Lucas, what's next up for you?
Next up for me is Gromit's number 4. Just this is just a fun, really awesome self-insert story from Brian Posehn and Rick Remender. Um, it's basically just a story about them growing up in the '80s and being skaters and dealing with their own lives. It's a slice of life story. It's nothing crazy, but it's so fun. It's so genuine. You can tell, and man, it's just great. It puts a smile on my face. I read the first 3 issues like back to back in like under an hour. Like they were that good. It's just, oh man, good slice of life stories. Kind of difficult to find, but when they're really good, they're really good. And I like this isn't like there's nothing supernatural. There's no weird thing. This is just literally a slice of life story. But this issue will be dealing with them trying to run their own party, which should be really fun because they're not that popular, but they both have crushes on very specific people that they're probably going to invite in the party. Um, and yeah, it's pretty great. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about this. Uh, Rick Remender pairing up with more comedians. Not dissimilar to Holy Roller. We got Brian Posehn on this one, um, who is someone who worked on Deadpool, as I think I've mentioned before. But yeah, this is what I've heard, a very fun series. I definitely got to check it out at some point.
No, definitely, I highly recommend it. I think you'll get a
Word.
nice good chuckle out of it. What's next up for you, Elias?
Next up for me is going to be Knights number 10. Um, Last issue was our Christmas issue. Really, really fun issue. Um, Christmas in July, was the joke there, but just a pretty fun, heartfelt issue.
Kwanzaa
More
Krampus.
beautiful art. Yeah, Kwanzaa Krampus. But I'm really excited about this issue because we're finally going to get into Matt's lore a bit more. Hopefully, go right up to the point where he died and find out um, what happened to him. So I'm pretty excited. This is going to be Matt's birthday, and I'm sure we'll continue to, unravel more mysteries while we're here. But yeah, what a stellar indie book. As always, can't recommend this book enough.
Yeah, I have a gut feeling this issue is it's gonna be heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. Also, question. I remember that when we talked to the author of the book, Wyatt Kennedy, he had mentioned that people were complaining about the two people that we saw in the first issue never appearing again. Is the person with the blue hair one of them? I'm thinking maybe they died with with Matt. Uh,
Yeah, it's possible. To answer your question, yeah, I think it's very possible. Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, what I was envisioning was like, um, Matt dies, and then this person doesn't want to be with him anymore. That's kind of what I was
mm,
envisioning. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be a very
heartbreaking.
heart wrenching story either way. Yeah,
Also, this cover, man, brutal, brutal cover.
the covers just keep giving. The covers just
Yeah,
keep
nah,
giving. But yeah, this is a especially beautiful one.
yeah. Last issue though, for me, perfect. 5 out of 5.
Word, yeah, definitely. Got more into Ivory and Vince's relationship, which was important. Him confronting Ivory and being like, "So you killed people or what?"
Yeah, like
Was an
a lot of
important development.
good plot lines being concluded or resolved.
Yeah,
Um,
big
and
time.
poor Matt having to hear everyone have sex while he's gaming.
That was
I
so
found
funny.
I found that
It's like,
so
man, what's
funny
better than
when
this?
it was so funny. It was such a funny cutaway. It was just everyone else
Oh,
having
right.
sex. It was like 2 pages of everyone having sex, and then it was just him gaming.
with the with the
uh,
Donkey Kong bongos reference, which was such a specific reference
oh
that they
my
wanted to make.
god, yeah, that was so funny too. Man, I
Very
will say
funny.
this series always does so well with the references.
Mm-hmm.
Whew,
And the
such a
comedy,
funny series.
just the chemistry and the natural flow and ebb of energy and dialogue is, yeah,
Yeah.
very impressive. Lucas, what's next up for you?
Next up for me is The Hunger and Dusk, Book 2, Number 2. Um, yeah, we're continuing with the story. We had last issue, we had uh, our leader, our fearless leader, Cal, realize that maybe Tara shouldn't have left. Having a orc healer is actually really good. But on top of that, he realized he really liked her. He doesn't. She didn't view him as lesser than because he wasn't royalty. and she wasn't treated like royalty because she was with them. So Cal came to the conclusion that like, yeah, they got another human healer who was like really infatuated with him, and like it was like, oh, that's cool, this is great, and then like the issue is basically him realizing like, no, it isn't the fact that like we lost a healer that's bad, it's that we lost Tara. So I really like that. We're gonna get more of the politics of the orcs also, because the reason now that Tara left, some of the orc tribes think that humans are a fair game again, which is bad because we still have the Vangal, who are the main enemies, still fighting. So yeah, no, this series keeps progressing. I like that we're dealing with some of the politics now because of Tara leaving. It doesn't just have effects on the main group, but literally the entirety of the continent. So it'll be very. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. G. Willow Wilson just always expanding her range.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I love that these covers really feel like old school fantasy novel covers.
Yeah,
They always have this
definitely.
frame and whatnot. Yeah, very fun.
No, they're so good. The art is also phenomenal. I really have to give a shout out to Christian Wild Goose, which is
Word.
crazy that that's his name. Also, I will say, but
Christian
yeah,
Wild Goose. Yeah, that's funny.
um, but yeah, no, amazing art. Really knows how to kill it with action and just dialogue in general.
Sweet.
Yeah, and no backup artist at all during this entire series, which is nice.
Very nice.
Elias, what's your top pick for this week?
My top pick for this week, the week of August 28th, final week of August, is a book I've been very excited about for a very long time, and that is Aliens versus Avengers. Man,
Who would have thought this would be the book that the
where
Secret
do I
Wars team would
start?
reunite on?
Where do I start? Um, this is something I don't usually do. I don't usually put number ones at my like top pick because it's always anticipatory. But I mean, I have no doubt I'm gonna love this. This is Jonathan Hickman and Asad Rabik, the team from Secret Wars, reuniting on what I can't, describe as anything other than probably a blast of a crossover book. It's a huge book, $8 book. How many? 44 pages. That's not enough pages for me though. But we got some fantastic creatives working on characters that I really enjoy, and there's just so much potential here. What a great logo! Also, just perfect. I'm so excited to pick these up in physical. I'm a sucker for crossover stuff, like I talked about before. We just had an Ultraman Avengers crossover book. We have Black Panther vs Predator happening now. So yeah, this is really the the time for crossovers. They know what I like, and I'm excited to pick this up. This is gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I told this to Elias, but if I don't see a chestburster burst out of Tony's arc reactor, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But
Yeah, I mean, I hope they're not afraid to. I hope they don't hold back.
yeah, um, but yeah, they're called the perfect organism. Time to fucking prove it. You better
Yeah,
win. And this isn't canon, so kill away.
pretty much.
Imagine the reveal is that this is canon. That's like the Jonathan Hickman twist is like, yeah, so the main
Yeah,
616 universe is actually dead now.
yeah.
Everyone tune
It's
into
all.
the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, right. It's all just aliens now.
That would
But
be
yeah, all we
funny.
get from this synopsis here is just xenomorphs reach Earth. So they're already going to be there. They're not going to meet them in space or anything like that, and they're just going to get right into it. Another thing I will note is that they are taking their time with this series, which I'm not mad about because as long as they keep Hickman and Rabik together, take as much time as you want. That's a huge thing, and they must have really had to fight, or Hickman must have really had to fight to get Marvel to give him time because the next issue isn't coming out till November. So
Yeah.
super excited for this. They all appear to be $8 issues, but man, I'm just so excited. It's going to be a 4 issue mini. So yeah, I hope they get into some fun stuff. That brings us to your final pick, Lucas. Go ahead.
My number one pick this week is going to be The Nice House by the Sea, number two. This first issue was perfect. Not only did it bring us right back into the world, but it taught us, it made us encounter new characters, new ideas, and built upon the past run. Basically, what we learned is that Walter in the last series chose everyone because they were his friends. Of course, they were very talented engineers and politicians and stuff like that. But he kind of led them down that path so that he could choose to save them because he cared about those people specifically. Now we're seeing what an ideal environment, quote unquote, would have been, and where another, quote unquote, Walter, a monster thing, basically invites the people that are at the top of their fields. And they know going in that the world is ending. They know that they're going to have a certain amount of time. They're going to be living here infinitely. They know all that. And they willingly agree. So it's a lot more different than the last one where he kind of tricked his friends into going into this place and then the simulation and everything happened. And so, yeah, it's really sick. We got to see more interesting body stuff because now that they know about certain things, they can, they have control of the biome. They have control of their own bodies because they can regress their age. They can fix certain things about them. They can tweak their bodies in any way they want. So it's really unique. It's really interesting. And the last page reveal was the reveal of the other group from the previous run bursting into their simulation, their biome. And our main character that we had encountered, Max, basically, or sorry, not Max. The Walter character is named Max. This character, I believe, is named Oliver. Yes, Oliver. He was also friends with Walter. So he actually recognizes the people from the other group. He was actually offered by two people to either join Walter's or join the other, and he chose the other for some reason. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
Walter. That's all
yeah.
I have to add.
I'm gonna read the summary for issue 2 real quick because I really do have to read this. Tensions inside the house are rising. Resentments are simmering to the surface. The residents need something to unite around. So an adorable dog is just the right thing, right? They can all be trusted to love an innocent animal, right? So, and I love that the first comment is, Tinian, if you hurt this dog, God help me. so I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. Because I don't think that dog is going to be good. But yeah, should be interesting.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to yet another weekly comic pull episode. Go download Fortnite and add me. Right now, I'll wait. Go to Twitch TV. Actually, I'll wait. I'll go to Twitch TV / the Cosmic Panel or whatever the URL is. I'll put it in the description. I'll make it easy for you guys. I'm just gonna wait here.
You have a
you guys
problem.
Go ahead. Follow us on Twitch.
You have a problem.